This is a diagram of an extraterrestrial spacecraft that I went inside of when I was younger. The entrance to the ship was through the ceiling. You come down in through the top and you'd step down onto a curved staircase. There were three high-back swivel chairs positioned in front of a console, here, here, and here. There were three monitors, smaller monitors to the left of each chair. The controls would have been directly in front of each chair. And then above the controls on the wall was a larger single monitor. So a total of three of the larger monitors and approximately 9 of the smaller monitors. Back behind the staircase was a separate control panel where all the ship's powers were at, and nothing on the console worked unless you first went back here and turned it on. And then at the beginning of the console was a control panel for opening and closing the door on the top of the ship. This illustration is just to show you where things are. The curved staircase would have been about here, and then inside the skin were 4x4-inch chambers. You couldn't see this unless you watched it being built or taken apart. The skin was actually hollow, and they went around the full circumference of the ship, and they ran down into the skin. Inside these chambers were rods that were approximately 8 to 10 inches long, 1.5 inches in diameter. They were test tube shaped, shining like stainless steel with a brushed surface to them. And inside that rod was another rod with a very tightly wound helical coil wrapped around it. And the rod in the center of the coil kind of had a brownish red circle in the middle, then a brownish red ring, and a dark color ring after that. Different layers of material, in other words. These rods were not only part of the propulsion system for generating the field, but they were part of the refueling system. This ship could hover above high-tension power lines and refuel from the lines. It didn't touch the lines, it just hovered above the lines. Einstein's thing about light traveling at a constant velocity is incorrect. Scientists have already slowed down light and speeded it back up. Of course, the people that believe in relativity try to contradict that, but they can't. The reason light travels at the speed it does is because the frequency oscillation of the photon does two things. One, it generates a wave, and also generates the acceleration by pushing against space with the oscillation. This ship worked much in the same way. It was able to generate a field that, one, blocked out space from being able to couple to the mass, and then that field also generated the propulsion, in other words, the acceleration of the ship. The skin of the ship was one of the more important parts of the propulsion system, the material that it was made out of, the way it was actually able to generate the field from those rods. Now, that thing about where they talk about a train traveling down tracks, and you have one guy on the side of the tracks with a light, and then you also have the light on the train and an observer off in the distance. The reason the light reaches the observer at the same time from both people, even though the train is moving, is because as soon as the light is emitted from the train, it slows down. That oscillation regulates its speed. It regulates how fast it goes, whether it's a forward acceleration or actually deaccelerating. When it exits the light on the train, it actually deaccelerates down to the 186,291 miles per second. That's why it reaches the observer at the same time. But there are so many different things that Einstein was wrong about. The mathematics of space being curved are correct, except that it goes, within my theory, it goes on to complete a complete sphere, in other words, three-dimensionally. And as I said before in my other videos, last time I checked, we live in a three-dimensional world. But anyway, that's pretty much it. If I have anything else to add to it, I'll add it later. Thank you very much.